Alrighty. Let's see if anybody's hanging out. What? That wasn't what I wanted. What's up, guys? Happy record store day, everybody. How's everybody feeling? What's up, Tom's Vinyl Shack? I am playing Paula Abdul, Forever Your Girl. This is the one record I bought today on record store day. I didn't go to a participating record store. I went to an independent vendor who doesn't even have a brick and mortar. They sell at a farmer's market, and you know, I had a lot to do today, so I really couldn't go to a store to try to pick up stuff. And honestly, it's not my scene. I don't like waiting in lines and stuff. I kind of like just browsing on my own time. And so yeah, I picked that up. Classic album, happy to have it. I love your name, Lengthy Leonard. That's a great one. What's up, Charles? What's up, Jarrett? Palma Films. And who else is saying hi? I guess that's it. Hey, guys. Did you guys pick up anything? If you picked up anything, tweet at me or tag me in a Instagram photo, and I'm curious to see what you guys got, if anybody got cool stuff. I did not get a copy of Zeet. Oh, you got the Nas Fungo Bat Acetates. Cool. Well, no, don't feel sorry for me that I couldn't go. The big record store that actually participates near me is Amoeba Music, and it's a mob scene. Like, I don't really like going down to Hollywood to begin with, and I like to avoid big crowds, just because it's not the way I like to shop for music. I like kind of just chilling and being in my own world, and I don't feeling the need I have to like quickly go through stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys feel that way. You know, if there was a place I could walk to, I would totally do that, but I just didn't feel like driving today. What's up, Aliyah P? I think I say your name right. I apologize if I don't. But yeah, if you guys want to just tag me in Instagram photos or send me a tweet with your stuff, I'd love to see what you guys got. Hey, Zachary. What do I think of Frank Ocean? I really like. Was more available on vinyl, and I would probably talk about him more. But I really liked Channel Orange. I thought that album was great. I never got to check out. Blonde. Looked at it online, but I didn't really get a chance to listen to it. Yeah, I really want to go through, at least mention all of their albums, and it's great that more of their stuff's coming out on vinyl. I know there was, I think Pulse just came out, which I don't know how you guys like that album, but I think it's cool that it's back on vinyl. It's got reissued on vinyl. I think that's really great. Oh, cool. The Rodriguez Films got some used records for great deals in addition to an RSD exclusive. That's great. Rolling Stones, their Satanic Majesty's Request on blue and black splatter vinyl, the stereo remaster. Now, do you guys know if that's just the same stereo remaster that was in the 50th anniversary mono and stereo edition? I have to assume it is. I don't see that record label going through the expense of mastering a new stereo version of that. Oh, really? Mogwai put out something? Oh, that would have been cool to check out. It's always neat when you hear about surprise stuff. You know, honestly, a lot of the stuff I wanted to find is like Record Store Day Canada and the UK, and it's like shipping that stuff was just gonna be ridiculous. Forever Words, Johnny Cash. I'm not. What are you referring to, Miguel? Oh, Don Lab, you got the White Album because of the video I made. That's awesome. How do you like it? Thoughts on Chuck Berry? His Hits album reissued was part of Record Store Day, but being pressed by RTI, which is great for the price. Jimmy M. Yeah, I mean, I like Chuck Berry as a budding guitarist back in high school. That guy was a huge influence on me. His licks are really easy to learn, and the only thing is, though, is if you get the Greatest Hits album, and nothing against Chuck Berry, but the guy made singles. He didn't really make albums. Maybe towards his last album was actually an album. I haven't heard it myself yet, but he's a singles guy. So like after about 10 or 12 songs, they all start sounding the same. It's just different lyrics. You know what I mean? And it's just the time and the place. That's what music was. If one thing didn't hit, you came at it again. You came at it again. So having his Greatest Hits on vinyl like that, I feel like it's been pressed so many times. Like, I don't know. I didn't see how much it was, but it seemed like not something I needed to pick up. Zachary says, one thing I wish I had got was the mirror-to-mirror version of Twin Fantasy by Car Seat Headrest. Oh, I don't even know what that is. That sounds cool. Out online, see what that was all about. Do I plan on reviewing any David Bowie albums? Yeah, but I'm not sure what one is coming up next. Oh, cool. Thanks, Miguel. That's the new album of Last Poems by Johnny Cash. That's really cool. I always like that stuff that Johnny does. See, that's what I'm talking about. Record Store Day UK exclusive stuff. It's annoying for us here guys across the pond. I hate the exclusivity of this stuff. I hope that some of this stuff gets released on like a standard black vinyl or something, just so that people can have this stuff on vinyl. It kind of is irksome, this artificial scarcity that gets produced. That's great, Don Lab. I'm glad you really enjoyed the White Album. That's great. Oh man, New Zealand. I can't imagine trying to ship records to New Zealand. Yeah. Do you guys have Record Store Day there? Like, how does all that work? Andrew, where do I get all my suits? This suit I actually bought for a wedding, but most of my suits come from thrift stores. You're welcome, Buster. I love Dire Straits. Do you happen to own any albums by I have this one right here, funny enough. This is this their second album or their first? I think this is their, I can't keep it straight. I know I talked about it on a previous Awesome Finds. This might be their first one. It's got Sultans of Swing on here. It's a pretty good album. I recommend it. Self-titled. Okay, Roberto, so you didn't really get anything, and so you bought some singles. Were the singles Record Store Day exclusives, or they were just singles that were there? Yeah, Charles, your mom loves Dire Straits. Underrated in some respects. Like, they had their heyday, but I think today they're not. I feel like they deserve more credit than I think they get. Cool, she had some cassettes. Cool, man. Yeah, Jimmy. Try to upcycle that way. Try to, you know, find my stuff at thrift stores, and it's kind of where I first found my love of collecting records. Okay, the singles were just there. Gotcha, no problem, Roberto. What's my favorite double album? I mean, gosh. I mean, OK Computer, that's a double album, right? That's fantastic. Siamese Dream is another fantastic. I mean, some might argue that's a quadruple album, but it was a double CD album. The White album's fantastic. I'm not sure if Blonde on Blonde is up there for me. It's a great album. I don't know if it's one of my favorites. Trying to think. I get confused because sometimes it's just a gatefold. It's not a double album. So like I'm racking my brain a little bit here. Yeah, Jethro Tull is awesome. I love their work. Okay, so it's not a big selection in New Zealand. Thank you for answering. Have I heard any albums for the first time recently that you really loved? And thrift store suits are the best suits. Well, thank you, Rodriguez Films. Yeah, actually, that's a. What did I just listen to? Dream Police by. Why am I blanking on their name? You guys know who I'm talking about. It's not Styx. What's their name? Why can't I remember? Yeah, that was fantastic. What else did I just listen to? I have a whole stack of records I'm going to talk about on an upcoming Awesome Finds, so I don't want to spoil those. Trying to think what else. I listen to so much stuff. I do feel like sometimes I miss out on some of the classics. David Byrne has just ruled out Mexico. Talking Heads review. What do you mean by he has just ruled out Mexico? What does that mean, Miguel? Oh, Roberto, yeah, right on. Your favorite double album is the White Album. Awesome. Cheap Trick. Thank you, Charles. Jeez, why can't I remember that? Cheap Trick. Ah, man. Any chance of doing an Oasis or Stone Roses album review? Yeah, definitely, Andrew. I've been meaning to cover the Stone Roses self-titled record and Oasis, What's the Story in Morning Glory. That's a huge album for me in my life personally. I was in Europe when that album hit, and like you couldn't get away from it, and that was awesome to me. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Andrew. I would love to tackle that. I'm just trying to find time to like write these reviews. That's my biggest issue right now. I keep getting distracted from like, you know, taxes. My taxes aren't even done. I had to do an extension and like trying to deal with the house and just all kinds of stuff, man. Everything gets in the way. Ever listen to XTC? Of course, Charles. Yeah, I have a couple of their albums laying around. I'm not like enamored by them, but I enjoy XTC. Oh, cool. The Rodriguez Films, the first Animal Collective. I gotta check that out myself. Zachary, I'm probably gonna say stuff a lot in the chat. Just recently started collecting. So far, I got Neutral Milk, Hotel, Childish Gambino, Car Seat, Headrest, Kendrick Lamar. Oh, sweet. What Childish Gambino did you pick up, Zach or Zachary? Yeah, I have some sticks in my collection. I don't remember what I have exactly offhand. Oddly enough, I have some of their classic albums. I do enjoy Styx. They do Sailing Away, right? That's the band that does Sailing Away. Right? It's not Kansas. Kansas doesn't do that, right? Am I familiar with Duke of Stratosphere by XTC? I'd have to look at the album cover to remember exactly. Because I have a couple. I'm gonna look at their albums and then I'll tell you which ones I have. Do I listen to Death Grips? Of course, yes. But I haven't listened Beyond the Bottomless Pit. Have I listened to artists Coil before? No. Blah blah blah. After watching your Niels Fromm review, did that spark you to maybe delve more into neoclassical ambient albums, or was it one-off? No. Jimmy, that's a great question, and part of my problem What? That's weird. Spotify doesn't have all their albums on here, XTC wise. I'll have to look somewhere else. No, I'm really not knowledgeable on neoclassical ambient stuff. And I have like so many wheels turning that I don't often get back to where I was. So like right now I'm just like super focused on 1967, which is a great year, no doubt. Fantastic albums, music came out then, but it's like hard sometimes to switch between like old stuff and like new stuff and like history and what's on the cutting edge. Like it's hard to have 2 feet, one on each end of that sometimes. It's a hard balancing act. Yes, of course, I love Modest Mouse. I don't know, favorite album by Modest Mouse. Modest Mouse is one of those bands that I felt like I caught them right before they hit it big, so I felt like I was one of the cool kids. I was in college. My favorite one is Good News for People Who Love Bad News and The Moon in Antarctica. I love those albums. Oh, you bought Because of the Internet? Nice. Do you have any Sam Cooke albums in your collection? I have a double live album of Sam Cooke, I believe. Uncle Squids, I did not. The only record I picked up for Record Store Day was this one right here by Paul Abdul. I did not go to any record store that was participating in Record Store Day. I'm not a huge fan of crowds and like trying to beat everyone out to pick up a certain thing. It's just not my deal. And also I had like a lot of other things I needed to do today, so I don't, that's not how I like to shop. And honestly, I don't get to shop that often. So have I ever received a record as a gift that I did not like? I would say when I was a kid, I got the soundtrack to Dumb and Dumber and I learned to like it. No. I got the soundtrack. I got that. I liked the soundtrack to Dumb and Dumber, but I got the sound. And that features the BC-52s, and that record was pretty bad. Like it's the epitome of like bands cashing in on what's going to be a hit movie, and that's one I liked because I didn't have many cassettes and it was only music I had. But looking back, oh, that was pretty bad. Am I ever gonna do another Nirvana review? Yeah, I would like to. Right now, I'm just trying to focus in on these 2 reviews I'm working on at the moment, and I'm trying to make stuff quicker. But like I said, life keeps getting in the way of me writing, and it's hard to do like uploads every week and write and find time, but I'm getting there. I'm not complaining. I'm getting there. It's just figuring out how to be more efficient, and I've come up with some great techniques to dictate my reviews so that it gets typed out for me, and then I can just fine-tune it from there. Uncle Squids, did I want anything released today? Yeah, I was eyeing the David Bowie stuff and the Pink Floyd mono of their first album. But yeah, not enough to like wait in line for hours. I'm not gonna do that. I don't know if I have a favorite Nine Inch Nails record. I love the Downward Spiral. I grew up with that record, so I'm kind of biased towards it. What did I pick up for Record Store Day? This Paula Abdul. Danny picked up Florence and the Machine single and a car seat headset, Twin Fantasy mirror to mirror version. What does that mean, mirror to mirror version? I don't know what that means. I have to look that up now. Is it just like cosmetically different, or is it actually different? Let me look it up. Do I own any live films from any artists you've collected on vinyl? Not really, no. I never got into that. The one I do want to check out is Sign of the Times by Prince, but that one is, you can't find it in the States for some dumb reason. Oh. First time on vinyl. Oh, okay. Twin Fantasy, Mirror to Mirror. Okay, that's cool, but why'd they have to limit it to 4,000? I don't get that. I don't. Why can't they just make a special edition that's 4,000 and just really? Because people are gonna buy it now. I don't know. I'm getting on a rant. I don't want to get on a rant. What do we got? Oh, okay. Oh, Jimmy, dude, this is a classic freaking album. Yeah, it's got Straight Up, but it's got Opposites Attract, which is a fantastic single. And what was the one I just? Yeah, this is Forever Your Girl, which is fantastic. This is like such a feel-good song. And then, yeah, of course, Straight Up, Now Tell Me. Great album. I recommend picking this up. And it's cheap, too. It's not a very expensive record. Thank you, Danny. The Mirror to Mirror is the original Bandcamp version. How is it different than... Has it been released before? I don't get how it's different. I really wanted to get this Old Dogs demos and that mono Piper at the Gates of Dawn. I was busy today. Yeah, I understand, Uncle. But, you know, that stuff, like... You wait like a month, you'll find it on Discogs, and it will be reasonably priced, I believe. At least some of the stuff. I don't know about the Pink Floyd, though. How do I feel about the Clash Sandinista? Dude, I really like that album. I don't know if I like it as much as London Calling, but it's like really... I feel like it's really ahead of its time, and it's sonically, it's so interesting to me. Like, I love all the textures and the ideas that they were trying on it. So cool. Oh, Zach, thank you so much. I was so confused by Twin Fantasy and Face to Face because, like, they have the same album cover. I don't follow Car Seat Headrest that much, but that makes so much more sense now. Thank you. Is this album like 1989 condensed? No, this record is actually solidified Pepsi that's pressed into a record. I'm telling you. It's like Crystal Pepsi. It's actually 1988 is when this came out, believe it or not. But man, look at that. Paula Abdul, so good. Have I listened to any Blur music yet? Oh, not since like I was in high school, man. I need to get back to that. Oh, well, thank you, Chachi Yeti. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ingredients from the USA. What time is it in Spain anyway? Did you guys hear about that YouTuber who got in trouble in Spain? Man. TCW got Computer World and Tour de France by Kraftwerk on vinyl. How hard is it to find original pressings of Kraftwerk album in the States? I don't come across them very much, but I do have Tour de Force or Tour de France. I have a copy of that. I don't think that one's that hard to find. I think it's the albums that are hard to find, but you can find represses, no problem. What's the rarest record I think I have? You have a Sinatra one that's been passed down for ages with my family. That's awesome, Kate. I have a kind of a rare Sinatra album called like Tone Poems of Color or something. He actually doesn't sing on it. He just conducts. It's crazy. The rarest record I think I have is the Beatles Butcher cover that's been pasted over. No way, Charles. You saw Blur in concert? That's awesome. Oh, wow. Andrew won the Vinyl Me Please reissue of the Arctic Monkeys debut. That's great, dude. And you picked up the Laws as well. I'm not familiar with them. Thoughts on Jefferson Airplane? I like it better than Jefferson Starship. They have some great stuff. 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. in Spain. Well, thank you for staying up and hanging out in the chat. How do Uncle Squids ask, how do I feel about the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? I really like them. I like their quirkiness about them. They feel sort of like a live action role-playing group that found out that they're really good at instruments, and now they're just continuing to make music. I dig the things that they do. Hey, you're from Australia, TCW 22. That's awesome. Is it tomorrow over there? I forget how time works. Oh, I'm sorry, man. They didn't get all the stuff. Show Zama 85. I've talked to some smaller record shops, and it's like, it's a huge investment for Record Store Day for them. Like, it's a huge overhead, and like, yeah, they make a lot of money, but most of that is just recuperating costs. Like, for some record stores, it's just it's not always easy to break even on Record Store Day. Am I familiar with the Band of Montreal? Yeah, they're great. What's more important? What's usually more important to me? Interesting packaging or record quality? That is such a hard question because I'm a very visual guy, and so yeah, packaging immediately is gonna attract me to a record, but you know, it really needs to sound good, because at the end of the day, it's music. That's what the whole purpose of this stuff is to listen to it on vinyl. So yeah, I guess I would rather have a really good sounding version of a classic album than to have it on like maybe subpar colored vinyl or really thin vinyl, something like that. Like I think that's the you know, and it's in really cool packaging, but I think I'd rather have something that's simpler that sounds better. Hey Zach, yeah. So I like Car Seat Headrest a lot. I think I checked out their latest record. I listened to the new one, but I should check out Twin Fantasy, the first one, definitely. Matthew, no, I haven't listened to anything other than Bottomless Pit by Death Grips. I intend to, but I keep forgetting to do it, and I have Spotify now. I should just add them if they're on there. What's the most obscure album cover I've ever come across? Obscure? Like, you mean like rare or just... I'm not sure how to answer that. Because I've come across some obscure records, but they may not have like odd covers. I got to meet Kevin Barnes from Of Montreal when I saw them live a couple months ago, and he signed my all-time favorite album, Hissing Fauna. That's great, dude. That's so cool. You got to meet him. Ever listened to Wild Hearts? No. Okay, I'll check them out. Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts or Wild Heart? Oh, that's an album. I can't spell right now. Oh, there we go. Well, that didn't help. Am I excited for the new Arctic Monkeys album? I'm curious to check it out. I hope it's good. Am I going to bring back the UK versus USA series? Absolutely. I want to do Aftermath next. When am I going to review New Order's Technique? I don't know. I haven't. I don't get a lot of requests for that album. I love it though. Oh, odd album cover designs. Thank you, TCW. Yeah, but nothing really jumps out at me. One that's sort of a novelty is an album by Squeeze back in the 80s where it's like, it looks like it's been squeezed. It's cut out here. A little bit of a hourglass shape. That's always funny. Oh, cool. Okay, Death Grips is here. I guess I'll check out Government Plates. I haven't listened to that yet. Have I listened to or check out the latest Hop Along album? No, I don't even know what that is. I'll check it out. Bark your head off, dog. That's a great title. I recently got my hands on an anniversary Sgt. Pepper's picture disc. Oh, that's so cool, man. What, gosh, what pressing would that have been? Andrew says, recently picked up the US version of the Beatles' Hard Day's Night for $10 on Depop. I don't know what Depop is. Thanks for your UK versus... Oh, yeah, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I know. Those George instrumentals are really weird. Have I heard any Greta Van Fleet yet? Yeah, of course, Steven. I was actually in an Uber ride and the driver was blasting them. And I heard them before. They're interesting. What's up, Charles? Last thing I bought on vinyl was the relatively recent reissue of Effervescence by Oceanside. Super underrated album. I will check that out. Chachi Yeti asks, what's my opinion on the needle drop? Do you know Graham Parsons? Can you think of any album you hated at first but ended up loving? Peace, man. I really... Speaking of Death Grips, I really didn't like them in general at first. I guess I could say I hated them, but I didn't have that much energy to hate on them. I just was like, oh, I can't stand this. I tried listening to Government Plates and I just couldn't get into it. But then Bottomless Pits came out and for some reason, it just, light bulb went off. So awesome stuff. Yes, love Graham Parsons. I have a couple of his albums. He did that song Love Hurts, right? That's who I'm thinking of, I think. My opinion on the needle drop, the guy's prolific and he really is a critic and he's someone I admire in terms of a YouTuber and a music reviewer and just, you know, man, he's killing it. He's doing it and I really respect him for that. That being said though, I don't really watch a lot of his stuff. He comes across as being rather tired and just like he hates everything. And I know that's not the case, but like, he just, I feel like he does too much and he should like, I don't know. I think he could use a break maybe. I know sometimes I could use a break, but I mean, that's his job. So, I mean, more power to him. And thank you for that. Chachi Yeti. That's a hard name to say, man. Do I own any Rush on vinyl? I have 2112? I have that one, and I think that's it. What's up, Steamed Jawa? That's a great name, too. Have I been watching any TV shows recently? Danny asks. Yeah, I just started watching Lost in Space. I can't say I really like it that much, to be honest. Favorite Radiohead album? As of now, it's OK Computer, but that may change. I really like Kid A as well, though. Cool, Spinning TV. You just got the old Dog demos and Piper on mono. That's awesome. Those are definitely ones I wanted to pick up. Favorite Springsteen album? I love Nebraska and the other one, shoot. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Something. It's like him like leaning against a doorway or something. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, cool. Steam Jawa got Misfits Collection #2 and Slayer Live Undead. That's great. Steven, man, I don't know. I don't really follow Record Store Day. I wouldn't know. Are you into Rush? I like Rush. I don't know if I'm into them. Am I a Brian Eno fan? Of course. Absolutely. Showzama85, he had some store credit and was going to pick up Queen Complete Studio, but it's sold out. Man, that looks like a great box set though. I'm sure another one will come in for you. You'd like Ocean Size. I think there's bits of Radiohead and Mogwai in there, but it's also in weird time signatures. They get heavy like nobody's business. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna check that out. Ocean Size. That's a great title, actually. All right, I'm gonna check out that Efflorescence. I said that wrong. I can't say that word. Do I play any instruments? Yeah, trumpet and guitar. Joey's spinning some Jesus Christ Superstar right now, and I just got a Doctor Who radio play from last year's Record Store Day. That's awesome. It was Record Store Day yesterday in Australia. What'd you pick up, Kaiser? Tuxedo Gremlin. I would have loved to go out for Record Store Day, but the nearest record store is 2 hours away. Oh man, that's a bummer. Thank you, Raul. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Darkness on the Edge of Town is the one I'm thinking of. Thank you. Danny asked, is it worth getting the OK Not OK version of OK Computer if you don't have a copy of it? Yeah. You might. I mean, it's 10 extra bucks and you get like a whole another selection of awesome music. I highly recommend picking up OK Not OK. Any thoughts on the new Jack White album? Andrew, that's a great question. I have not really heard it. I heard one song briefly on my Spotify playlist thing, and it didn't offend me, which is unusual because I'm not a huge fan of Jack White, to be honest. So I'm actually looking forward to checking his new one out. Opinions on the new J. Cole album. It's about addiction, and one track talks about taxes, and the album overall is just amazing, in Zachary's opinion. I have not checked it out yet. Man, I gotta get on this stuff. J. Cole. That looks cool. KOD. I guess that's the album you're talking about. Finally picked up the colored MoFi pressing of the Blue album after having the lousy Geffen repressing for nearly a year. So much better. Well, I'm glad you picked up the MoFi pressing of their debut. Fantastic. I have the the first black pressing of that. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's before they had the blue one. I love this. This is a great pressing to have. Opinions on Weezer's Red album. Which one is that one? What's on that? I don't even remember what's on that one. I don't. Is that the one with the cowboy hat? One of the guys wearing a cowboy hat in the cover. I think that one's okay. The only one that really bothers me, which one it really bothers me? It's not one of their best. I'll be frank. Red album has Troublemaker, Pork and Beans. Oh god, I hate Pork and Beans. Yeah, that one is not good. Not my favorite. That came out in 2000. That's 10 years old now. Crazy. Sing to God by Cardiacs is the greatest album ever made. Huh, never heard of that. I have to... no, that's not it. Cardiacs? I have never... Huh. Interesting. What has been my favorite album of the year so far. I love the new MGMT, actually. That's probably my favorite so far. Opinions on ska. I mean, I grew up on ska, man. I love ska. But I don't... It's not something I go back to these days, though. Yeah, Ratitude isn't as bad, though. I don't think. I think the Red Album is more offensive to me. But I could be wrong. Hell, I don't know. Sometimes Weezer just blurs together in my head. Because they're kind of prolific. What is on Ratitude? Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Hurley. That's the one I'm thinking of. Put me back, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think Ratitude's kind of forgettable. What's on Hurley? Trainwrecks, Runaway. Hell, I can't remember. That was like their dark period, right? Right after Make Believe, they kind of had a string of just like, what are they doing albums. Have I heard the new demos from Mac DeMarco? No. Blah, blah, blah. Nice, Steven. You got some Def Leppard and some Metallica's, some Metallica stuff. That's great. I love Boarding House Reach, but I hate... No, your thing just went away. But I hate the track over and over. I don't know what that's referring to. Hot take. New Jack White's one of the best albums of 2018. All right, well, I'm definitely going to check it out now. Excited for the new Beach House album. I think each single so far has been amazing. I actually pre-ordered the new album called 7, and I got it from... What is it? What's it called? The loser edition, where you pre-order it and because you're a loser. I pre-ordered it, but I bundled it up with the rest of their discography on vinyl, so that's coming at some point. Oh well, thank you. I'm Steve. I just don't know how to say your name, man. Oh, Steven, you got the Dark Side of the Moon. That's great. That's awesome. What do you think about Royal Blood? Royal Blood, I have to blah, blah, blah. Remember. Royal. Uh-oh. Record's over. Oh, yeah, Royal Blood. What did I just listened to them. But. Oh, yeah. That's that. I don't remember. I have to re-listen to them to give you an honest opinion. Have I heard the new Dee Snider solo album coming out this summer? I have not heard of that, Zach. That's insane. That's crazy. What's he got going on these days, I wonder? Uh-oh. Well, that's what I get. All right. I just got a new Pet Shop Boys record. You guys care if I put that on? Let me go grab it. Kind of curious to check this record out. All right, what do we got here? Ooh. So what's your actual opinion on Dark Side of the Moon, since you reviewed it as a sort of a joke? Well, you know, that's funny because Dark Side of the Moon was something I just kind of wrote off like it's overrated. And the more I kind of familiarized myself with the music, I found I really freaking loved it. And I loved it as an album. I don't think it should be broken apart as it has been over the years on classic rock radio, which is how I was first exposed to it. It's just not as freaking good. It's just not as good. Hearing it as one complete whole, it's an odyssey, it's an album, it's meant to be heard as a whole. And that really reinforced the idea to me. Like, if I hadn't picked it up before, that was the album that made it very apparent that there is such a thing as like a crafted album and not just a collection of singles. So yeah, my opinion, it sort of is mirrored in the episode where I wake up, I'm like, I get it now. And it's not so much about the drugs, it's just for so long I only heard like the middle of the story, and now I got the full picture. So there's a new Gorillaz. They just put out a record. Zachary, what's up, man? Have I listened? Oh, I haven't listened to Brockhampton yet. I keep meaning to listen to it. Yeah, I know. They have like three records. Right? But yeah, they don't have anything on vinyl. But I hear like y'all really like them, so I should really check them out. As a guy who has been a fan for their whole life, I can't believe how big Gorillaz really are. I see them everywhere now. I kind of feel like they were always huge. I mean, back in high school, you couldn't get away from their first big hit single. Like, it was everywhere where I was. So I feel like they've more sort of like dipped away and then come back. Really, Lori? You've never liked Dark Side of the Moon? That's okay. I respect that. Not everybody has to like it. Thank you, Stanley. Oh, Stan, what are you doing? You shouldn't be here on the chat. Oh, that's cool, Rodriguez Films. That's great. Do I like Mark P? I don't know, Mark P. Do you want the Beatles stereo vinyl box set? No, I don't really need it. I have what I need from an earlier stereo box set from the 80s, so I don't really need the newer one. And the way with Giles Martin keeps remastering these, you know, I think I'm gonna be good just picking those ones up. I'm sure at some point in like 10 years we'll have another stereo box set. I don't have a favorite Arctic Monkeys album. Actually saw the Australian Pink Floyd show in concert a few years ago. They had a giant inflatable kangaroo towards it, and that sounds awesome, Charles. I'm glad you got to go check that out. Favorite Mac DeMarco album? I think it's what is it? 2? The one where he's on the cover? Is that the one? Is that the right one I'm thinking of? Have I heard about Kanye West releasing a new solo album and collab album with Kid Cudi? What? Or is it Cudi? Not Cutie, it's Cudi. What am I saying? I have not heard of any of that. Thoughts on It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back? Oh, I don't know what that is. I remember Lemmy saying the Beatles were supposed to be in mono at one point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Charles, up to a certain point, up to, I would say, the White Album, that's true. Because that's really... It made sense. It made sense at the time. Stereo was so new. There really wasn't a center channel yet, if you can believe that. Like, they could pan left or right, but not halfway to make center. Through 3 Blue Ducks. I am in the process of making a new Awesome Finds. What is the best and worst concert I've been to? The best for me as a kid was seeing Weird Al live. That was so cool, and then getting to meet him. But one of the worst concerts was seeing Bob Dylan. The guy, this was like 18 years ago, and it was like, why are you doing this? You should not even be up there. You hate it, obviously. You do it for the money. But oddly enough, the band who opened for him were amazing, and that was Asleep at the Wheel. And that's how I found out about I'm in love with that stuff. Opinions on Peter Gabriel? I think he's great. Favorite Beatles album? That's got to be the White Album. Favorite Green Day tune? Basket Case? Is that the right one? Oh no, In Your Room, the hidden track on Dookie. I love that. Ooh, I just lost that. Quadraphonic Records. I don't have, no, I have like 1 or 2 Quadraphonic Records, but I've never been able to get a decoder, and that's like what you really need, unfortunately. I found a receiver, but it didn't work. Do you listen to 80s new wave? Of course, I freaking love it. Did I celebrate Record Store Day? Sort of. I bought one record, Paula Abdul, Forever Your Girl. But honestly, I'm really celebrating Record Store Day with you guys. I love hanging out with y'all, and that's what I would love to be doing more of that. I don't really need to like spend a lot of money. I love seeing what other people get. So if you guys want to tag me in a photo on Instagram of what you picked up, or tweet at me with your Record Store Day pickups, I'd love to see them, because I think that's really cool. Even if it's not Record Store Day exclusives, whatever you picked up today, just show me what you got. Do I like or have any Esquivel? Oh my gosh, I freaking love Esquivel. Great stuff. Charles, your mom likes to sleep at the wheel? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an era. Oh yeah, Avicii. I'm not sure how to say his name. It was funny. I've always known of that dude's name because I see him on billboards, but I've never consciously listened to his music except for that one song that was like all over the place that people love to use in wedding videos. So I've edited to his music, but Spotify had a playlist of all his hit songs, and no offense, rest in peace, but his music is not my music. It's very blasé to me. I mean, he's got a style and he stuck with it, and it was great, and I know people loved it, but for me it was way too simple and repetitive and just not my style at all. It was like kind of like poppy, but not, there was nothing really, it just felt very precise and controlled and like everything where it should be for a pop song, but it just, I don't know, kind of left me feeling a little empty. So I think it's sad that he passed away at 28. No one should be going away that early, and I feel bad for his family and his fans. I mean, it's too bad. It's too bad. But yeah. Do you think there's a trend or desire to return to form? Javier, that's a great question, man. He's saying there's a lot of new modern bands that are paying homage to their original, like older artists. And I think it happens every 20, 30 years. It just, there's a recycle of old stuff, and new bands come out that kind of sound like old bands. Like, you got that with the rockabilly scene coming out in the 80s, and like the ska stuff that came out in the 90s. And yeah, I think it's just cyclical. It just happens. And I think it's great. I think it's all good. It's all good stuff. Yeah, Charles, that's exactly how I feel. Charles says he was never really into Linkin Park, but he was sad when Chester passed away. And, I felt the same way about Chester as I do about this Avicii. I think I'm saying his name wrong. I'm so sorry. But it's unfortunate. Got any Prince on vinyl? I have a ton of Prince on vinyl. I can't even keep track. That's why I use Discogs. But honestly, most of that goes to my wife. Am I excited for the new Weezer album? Yeah, I want to check it out. Your personal thoughts on Live at Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash? I always get it confused with, he has another one, Live from San Quentin, and that's the one I own. I don't own Folsom Prison. At least I don't think I do. So I always get the two confused. But whichever one has a boy named Sue on it, that's the one I loved. Oh my gosh. How do you put records in and out of the inner sleeve? It feels like the most awkward and hard thing to handle. Oh yeah, of course it is. It is really hard. Like this, like that one was awkward, but this Weezer thing, it's in a like very flexible rice paper like inner sleeve. And generally, like I'll take a corner, and I'll put one edge on like my knee here, or I'll do it against my shirt like that. Hold it by the edges, set it down, and then same thing. Where I spread it apart, create an opening, and do my best to slip it in there getting kind of dirty in here. And yeah, it's awkward. Some people will do like a pizza pie thing where you grab it this way, which is fine too, but I find that my fingers will leave fingerprints on the label itself, and I don't like that. So I try not to do that. Now, a really good thing that you could do is always have a pair of gloves handy, or at least one glove, and then you can handle the record all you want. And I'm talking about like the gloves that, they're like soft cotton gloves that museum people use. Sorry, let's get back to this. Yes, I have a wife. I hope you're right, Lori Gill, that the new Gorillaz album is going to be great. From which artist / band do you have the most records from? Definitely the Beatles. Favorite Kendrick Lamar album? I don't have one yet. I have to go back and listen to the rest. How many records do you think you own? What style of shelf or storage area do you have? I have a terrible storage area, and you should not follow my lead. I just have this big long shelf, and then I have like stacks and piles all over the house. I really need to get better organized, but I do recommend the stuff from IKEA, which are little square cubbies. How many records I own? I don't know, a couple thousand, probably more. I haven't counted. Do I like Frank Ocean? Absolutely, dude. The guy's great. What are your thoughts on cleaning records with window cleaner? I've never tried it. I would be wary of window cleaner with ammonia. I don't know if that's a good thing to interact with vinyl, but honestly, vinyl's pretty durable. Unless, I think you'd be fine. I don't use it. I'm more worried about, well, actually, you know, window cleaner doesn't leave a lot of residue, but you kind of have to rub it a lot. So I don't know if it's the best thing to use, but I don't think it's gonna hurt your records. Have I ever heard of Kuko, the 19-year-old? No. Do I like Flume? Not really. Empire of the Sun, yes. Kimbra, yes. Alpine, I don't know. Do I like early Beatles? Yes. What's your favorite ambient artist? Is Mogwai considered ambient? I don't know, but I like Niels Fromm. I know he's ambient. What are your thoughts about Above Ground by Dave Navarro and Billy Morrison? That sounds great. I haven't heard it. I'll have to check it out. Favorite prog rock band? King Crimson. Abbey Road or the White Album? The White Album. Hot Take-ish. She's Leaving Home is a top best Beatles song. Maybe not for me, but it's a great song. Do I enjoy playing / watching any sports? I'm not very good at sports. The best thing I am good at is like the running part of most sports. I don't really watch sports, but if a game is on, I will watch it with you and I will cheer on the team that you're cheering on. I will get into it, but I don't follow sports. Yeah. Rafa, earlier or older Beatles? I would go with older Beatles. Gorillaz announced a new record album that seems like the chat is saying, oh yeah, I guess so, Zach. I would ask someone else who knows more. Am I going to review Sticky Fingers? Craig, I have reviewed it. It's not a great review. It's an old review. I did it back in 2012, but it's on the channel. Check it out. It's kind of a trip, actually. What are your thoughts on the Velvet Underground Nico? I just picked up that album, finally, and it's great. It's weird, though. There's some weird moments, but it's great. Favorite obscure Beatles song? Oh, I don't know, man. I like your hot takes here, the Rodriguez films. I feel like some of the Of Montreal early Beatles-ish stuff was almost as good as the Beatles. I'd like to go back and check that out. I should do that. Ever listen to Kendrick Lamar? Yes. Are you interested in the new Zeppelin 45 Record Store Day release? I have not heard of it. Is it like a new... Oh, wait. Maybe I have. Not really. I'm not big on that. All right, Zach. Take care. Hey man, what's a favorite film score composer of yours, and what's your favorite pieces by them, or which one struck you as of late? Peace. Thank you, Javier. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Favorite film score composer? Well, obviously John Williams is up there, and I love. I mean, his music is a soundtrack to my childhood, no doubt. But I also really like Basil Polidorius, who did the soundtrack to Conan the Barbarian. Fantastic freaking soundtrack, absolutely a must own. But I also like John Barry, another great composer, as well as he did the Black Hole soundtrack, as well as some stuff by James Bond stuff. Ooh, who else though is that's a great question. There's someone else I'm missing, and I'm trying to remember here. That's a great question. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Dang it. There was this film in the 80s. Ah, here it is. 1985 film. Who does the soundtrack? Jerry Goldsmith. That's who I'm thinking of. Ah, that was the other big guy. Big guy. That sounds funny. He's passed away. Let's see. Film and television. What's like a really cool thing that he's done? He's done a ton of stuff. Oh yeah, did The Omen, Logan's Run, blah 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 blah. Alien. Yeah, he did compose a score to Alien. That's crazy. I forgot about that. He did the Star Trek, the motion picture. Yeah, that was. Yeah, he's most recognized for Star Trek, the motion picture, having done the like that big bombastic score. Who did Superman? Was that Jerry Goldsmith too? Yeah, anyway. Awesome stuff. Am I into Devo? Oh, yeah. Although I like half their songs. Blah, 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 blah. What? Weird Fishes. In Rainbows is a great album, absolutely. What turntables do I own? I own a U-Turn Orbit Audio. U-Turn Audio Orbit turntable. Weird name. Yamaha YP200, a Audio-Technica LP120, this Fluence RT81, and this Trans Audio crappy turntable that used to be here. And then I also have a Victrola from like the 1910s. Dude, Alonzo, you got to see Radiohead in Chile? That's great, dude. Oh, that's so cool, Cyrus. Happy birthday to your mom. What's my favorite Beatles album? It's got to be the White Album. I know it is a lot of turntables, but I still want to get a couple other ones. But you kind of need a lot if you're going to be reviewing them, because you have to compare it to something. Do I listen to Yellow Days? If you haven't, listen to his album, Is Everything Okay With Your World? No, I haven't listened to Yellow Days. I should check that out. Yellow Day. Oh, Yellow Days. Oh, Craig, that's a great soundtrack. A Clockwork Orange. I have that on vinyl. I wonder how much of his score is on that, though. Are there any albums that you think are so awful they actually are fun to listen to? I mean, I can't think of any right off the top of my head. But yeah, there's gotta be some out there. Dude, you got to see Radiohead for $10? That's awesome. Well, I know your birthday. Yeah, your mom's birthday was yesterday, but belated. It's a belated happy birthday. What are my thoughts on Chicago? I don't like Chicago that much. When you get to the Death Grips albums, I suggest listening to Before Government Plates because it's boring. Oh, The Money Store. Oh, yeah, The Money Store. And The Powers That Be. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. You should review the Strokes debut album. Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you have Call Me By Your Name soundtrack on vinyl? I do not. I should review Sufjan Stevens, Illinois. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or is it Illinois? How do you say that? Illinois? I don't know how to say that. Have you ever heard of experimental trio death groups? Yeah, Christian, we were just talking about them earlier. I really enjoyed Bottomless Pits, or The Bottomless Pit. I'm saying it wrong. But I intend to listen to a couple more, like The Money Store and The Powers That Be. Thank you, Zach. All right. All right. What? Blah 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 blah. Favorite Beatle? I like George. Do I love new wave music? Yeah. Do I like ABBA? A little bit. I like them more now than I did before. Illinois. Okay. So it's not like the state Illinois. Oh yeah, Charles. Death Grips changed the way you think about music. That's awesome. Favorite Pink Floyd album? Yours is Animals. I really like metal. Do I like Michael Jackson? I love Michael Jackson. Well, not in that way, but I like his music a lot. I should review the first two Daft Punk albums. I have them on vinyl and they were wonderful to own. Yeah, absolutely. I have Discovery. Is that the one I have? But I should pick up the other ones. Can I review Let It Be? I am planning to. Yeah, okay, Lisa. I mean, I can't say I really listen to their 80s stuff, but like, you know, like Saturday in the Park, like it has its moments. I heard too much of it when I was younger, and I just find it a little too cheesy. But maybe that's the 80s stuff. Alonzo, what are you talking about? I should review OK Computer. Do I like the Rentals? Yeah, man. I remember when they came out. They were really cool. Am I gonna get the new McCartney reissues? Probably not. I have so much of his stuff on original pressings. I don't really see the need to rebuy them. What are my thoughts on the Who? The Who, you know, they're a great band. I don't like them as much as some of their contemporaries. Have I heard 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins? Dude, I live that. I love that song. Death Grips is great, but have you heard of Clipping? I freaking love Clipping. ELO is God's gift to man. Yeah. Do I like Steely Dan? Absolutely. Let me answer this text real quick. I like this Pet Shop Boys album. This is pretty cool. What are my albums I'm really anticipating this year? Dude, I'm living like day to day. I don't even know what's coming up tomorrow. Oh, don't worry, Alonzo, man. I just thought it was funny. You should check out Void? I don't know how to say that. Oh, wow. That sounds cool. I'm spelling it wrong. Favorite Jeff Buckley song? I don't have one. Do I like Bjork? Yeah. One of my favorite albums by her? I don't have one. I haven't listened to her enough to really have a favorite. Dang, these guys have a lot of songs. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's a lot of albums. How do they have so many freaking albums? Wait, they started in 1984 and they put out a lot of albums consistently. That's incredible. Dang. What album should I start with Voix Vod? Is that Please by Pet Shop Boys playing? Yeah. Yeah, I just got it. Favorite song in the new MGMT album? Me and Michael. Best King Crimson album. I will always love In the Court of the Crimson King. What do you think about Jack White's record company? I think it's awesome what he's doing. So good. My mom's friend is a DJ for a rock radio station that we listen to about every morning, and he played 1979, and it just got stuck in my head ever since. Dude, it's a great freaking song. Probably Nothing Face is the best. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Charles. Oh, come on. It just booted me off online. What is up with this Wi-Fi? I should review more Queen albums. I agree. Probably not. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Where has Ms. Mel been? I think she went up north. She went up to Seattle, I believe. Nothing Face. Wow. 1989. Cool. Thank you. Okay. What are your thoughts on unnecessary double albums? For example, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Oh, you mean like... I think I know what you mean. Just like the actual total length of songs could fit on one LP, but they make it a double. Is that what you mean? Because... I mean, I don't think that's a terrible thing. I think it's good. I think it's good to... not just cram all the songs on there. Twisted Rage spent literally $500. That's awesome. Am I a fan of Garbage? I like Garbage. I don't know if I'm gonna get 2.0 on vinyl though. What receivers would you suggest for a turntable, new or used? I mean, I would just get a what is it, an integrated amp, which has like a built-in preamp inside of it. I don't think you really need a receiver, because receivers are just good for like if you want to run other things through it, like a DVD player, or if you want radio. If you just want to listen to music, I would just get a dedicated, I think it's called an integrated amp. Just basically an amp with a preamp in it, so it has like the phono preamp, and just run it out to speakers, and that is going to be a lot less than a receiver. Am I familiar with the band Shoo Shoo? Absolutely. Oh, cool! I just got Lori Gill's pickups. Got some David Bowie, and I can't read the other. Oh no, that's just what it is. That's awesome. I'm glad you got that. Really cool. Oh, Alonzo, you mean unnecessary songs that are B-side worthy? I mean, I don't know. People are going to do whatever. I mean, artists are going to do whatever they want. How much do lyrics affect my enjoyment of a song? Do you see it as a 50-50 balance with music, or does it depend on artist and genre for you? Javier, like, I don't need lyrics to enjoy a song. Like, I'm weird that way. Lyrics are secondary. Lyrics are maybe 25% of a song. To me, it's more about the mood and the feeling and the way it's sung and the way it's produced and the way it's mixed and and that's way more important to me than like what it's saying. But that being said, if the lyrics are kind of stupid or they're I don't know, I don't want to call them offensive, but just like I don't know, the lyrics don't jive with me, then it can ruin a song. You want a hairstyling routine video? I could think about it. I'm kind of want to do a behind the scenes where I show you guys literally what I do to put an episode together, and that could be part of it. Have you ever wanted Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the soundtrack? Yeah, I've thought about it. I just never come across it. There's so much coming out this or next month. It's insane. I haven't even looked, Zach. You know, I don't know if I have a favorite album by Shoo Shoo, but I love they do a New Order cover of, I think it's Blue Monday or something. That's just fantastic. I would like to check out their cover album of the Twin Peaks soundtrack. So I got like about 3 songs left, and then I gotta wrap this up for today. But I appreciate y'all coming out and hanging out with me. Wait. Oh, ACBD got the final copy of Piper at the Gates of Dawn reissue because the store owners there know me and let me have the store copy. Oh, that's so cool. I'm glad you picked up that. I've been wanting that one. Melodrama by Lorde is probably my favorite album of 2018 so far. I thought that came out last year. Do I know Da Wei? No. Anamanaguchi is fantastic. I love Anamanaguchi, but they weren't actually they weren't in the film. They were just in the video game soundtrack, if I believe. Like, they created the soundtrack for the video game of Scott Pilgrim. I don't think they weren't actually... I don't know, you guys can correct me, though. Have I ever listened to Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan? No. What do I think of Swans? Oh, man, I think you keep asking me that, and I keep forgetting to listen to them. Thoughts on Deep Purple? I don't have a lot of thoughts on them. I like them, though. Do you have a favorite album of the 2010s so far? Oh, man. Crap, we're doing that already, huh? 2010s are almost over. I don't know. I don't have one. Does the pressing of a record matter? Yeah, I would say so. I would say so, Cyrus. Like a 180 gram, 200 gram vinyl that's pressed poorly is not going to sound as good as a regular album that was pressed, you know, like maybe 20, 30 years ago. It's just, if you rush a product out like that, it's just not going to sound good. If it wasn't mastered well, or if it was mastered from a CD, it's just, it's not, it's going to matter. It's going to matter. And that's why, like, researching who's pressing it, who's mastering it, it's always worth your time to kind of do a little bit of research. Go on Steve Hoffman forums, read what other people have said. Always a good idea. Thoughts on Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne? Both awesome. Do I enjoy an LCD sound system? Absolutely. Oh, cool. Well, thanks, Lori Gill, for sharing with me. I appreciate that. Do you know that there is a remastered vinyl edition of Pulse coming out this May? Yeah, I heard about that. I'm excited about that, actually. Cyrus, I do not know Day Way. Venet being the solo project of the former Oceanside frontman. Oh, okay. Cool. Do you like Unknown... I think you mean Unknown Mortal Orchestra? Yeah. Can I sing a song for you guys? Next time maybe I'll prepare something for y'all. What's the best Record Store Day Bowie album? I don't even know, man. Honestly, I don't really pay attention to Record Store Day releases. Well, thank you, Rafa, for hanging out, man. Oh, Dayway is a stupid meme, if I was wondering what... Okay, thanks. What are my thoughts on the new David Byrne album? I haven't heard it, man. Yeah, Alonso, I've been meaning to check out Kid A. Do I like the music in Fantasia? You mean the Disney album? Yeah, that's cool stuff, man. Real good classical music. Fun fact, anyone interested, singer Johnny Goletti, Crush 40 aka music from Sonic Adventure games, also from Hardline, and Axel is releasing his first solo. Oh, that's cool. You should check out Soul Wax from D-Wee, the Fantastic Dance Rock LP. Okay. That sounds cool. D-Wee. Wait. Soul Wax. Okay. I just remember clipping have a song remastered coming out on vinyl on the 29th. Oh, cool. Thank you, Mellow Yellow Submarine. How often do you stream? Cyrus, I try to stream like twice a month. Sometimes it can be more often than that. Have I heard the new Natalia Ooh, man, no, I have not. I might hound you relentlessly to review the Venart album when it comes out. Okay, that's cool. I respect that, Charles. I bought the Let's Dance demo 12-inch with the B-side being a live version of Let's Dance, only available if you went to a special Bowie exhibit in Australia. Cool. How's that sound, the live version? Do you like/own the band James album Laid, produced by Brian Eno? No, I don't have that. I don't know it. Have you ever heard the British progressive rock supergroup Asia? Of course, Craig. I love Asia. Who's your favorite female singer? Julie London. Oh, well, thanks, Christian. I appreciate that. What's your opinion on Crossley Cruiser? Oh, those things are crap, but not everything Crossley makes is crap. Just throwing it out there. I know it's easy to bash on them, but they have a couple of okay products. What are your thoughts on The Endless River by Pink Floyd? I have to refamiliarize myself with that. Once the Death Grips album comes out, you should review it if you get around to doing it. All right, Zachary, thank you. There's an Australian-only vinyl of Beach House's new album coming out soon. I don't know if I should buy it or not. Oh, it's just, I saw that, Danny. It's it's basically the same album, 7, but it's a unique color variant. If you're in Australia, you should pick it up, but I think shipping, otherwise, to me, it's not worth it. Got one last song, guys, and then I gotta head out. Favorite ELO album? What is it? Out of the Blue? Is that the one? The one with the spaceship on it? Yeah, Greg Lake, right? Greg Lake was part of King Crimson? Or am I getting that confused? Thoughts on American Idiot? Oh, American Idiot's good. I like American Idiot. Year of the Snitch. The track list was announced a week ago. Oh, that's cool, man. All roads lead to King Crimson. Yeah, of course. Wait, what? Skinny Shaft. You got the Sun Dragon Sessions vinyl by the Ramones. It's a very great quality, and it's got a code for a sweepstakes to get $1,000. I've never heard of that. That sounds cool. You should check out the James album Laid, one of my favorites from '93. Okay, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this. But the cover looks really familiar, actually. That's funny. I think everyone of a certain age has a copy of American Idiot somewhere. I have a burned copy. Speaking of female singers, how do you feel about Patsy Cline? Oh, she's fantastic. What are your thoughts on Billy Joel? I I like some of his stuff. Did you check out Dope Throne? No. It's an up dog, though? What does that mean, Javier? Do I like Tori Amos? I don't know. You have American Idiot on vinyl? That's so cool, Cyrus. Oh, Billy Joel Armstrong. Isn't it Billy Joe? I don't even know. I'm probably getting that wrong. If I had to choose between American bands or English bands, which one would I take? I would take American bands just because of my Smashing Pumpkins and Weezer. Thoughts on Bjork? Or Bjork? She's cool, man. I really dig how out there she gets. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Cyrus. I was going crazy there for a minute. What do we... do I like Florence and the Machine? I think I liked them more when they first came out, but I haven't really listened to them much these days. You also got the Abbey Road EP by Def Leppard and the 7 inches Led Zeppelin on yellow vinyl. That's awesome, Skinny. I once bought a 2008 Capitol reissue of Pet Sounds for $25. Do I think that was fair? Was that the mono pressing? Because, yeah, that's not bad. I think the 2008 pressing is okay. I should do a versus review on English bands versus American bands. Ooh, that would be controversial. Do I like the band Falling in Reverse? I don't know them. Check out an album called Suicide. It's something I think you might like. Who does it? Really, Charles? That was the first band you saw live. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, Craig, you did fine. Don't even worry about it. Beatles 62 to 66 or 67 to 70. I'd go 67 to 70. You're welcome, the Rodriguez films. Yes, absolutely. Tag me on Instagram with your Record Store Day pickups. Send me a message on Twitter. I really like At the Drive-In. All right, guys, that is it. I am gonna call it a stream for this weekend. Have a great rest of your weekend. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and sharing your Record Store Day finds. That's really cool. Until next time, guys, maybe next weekend or the following weekend. We'll see. I'll try to put it up ahead of time next time so you guys will know in advance. Okay, well, thank you again, and yeah, it's been great. Take care.